deal. Just go to Quick Trip.
They say necessity is the mother of invention. And I'd say that's certainly been the case with my journey with the Line 6 Pod HD 500X. It's not that uncommon that after a performance, somebody comes up to me and says how impressed they are with my guitar tone. And they'll even say how impressed they are that I can get that guitar tone out of a pod. And a few years ago, I probably would have agreed with them. But the thing is, because the pod has been like pretty much my only piece of gear, I've really had no choice but to learn how to make it sound good. And so that's got me thinking, like, are there other pedals out there that we typically think like aren't that good, that if we just spend some time like learning them, that we discover that they're actually pretty usable pedals? And that leads me to this. I went out and I bought a Digitech RP200. Now, when you think of great pedals, you probably don't think of an RP200. And that's kind of the point. Now I know this pedal's been around forever and it probably wasn't made with a touring musician in mind, but I wanted to give it a shot, just see for myself what it can do. Worst case, I just throw it in the trash. Or sell it. Yeah, probably sell it. And so I spent a few days with it and I put together 3 custom patches, and I just figure I'll just play them for you. You can get an idea of how this thing sounds if you've never heard it before, and then I'll just give my thoughts on the pedal afterwards. So let's just jump into it. The first patch that I made, I call it New Wave with a 3. This is a clean tone made with a Fender Twin Reverb amp model, some chorus, delay, and verb. Now the next patch that I made is called Crunchy with a K. This is a light crunch. It's a Vox AC30 amp model with some compression and reverb. And the final patch I made is called Whole Gain, like the bread. Okay, so those are my 3 patches. Let's talk about this pedal. So the first thing that I noticed, these foot switches, they just let you bang through the presets, but you can't like use them to turn individual effects on or off. But I have found a couple workarounds. I mean, the easiest thing to do is you just save 2 versions of the same preset, and just one of the versions has the effect on, the other version doesn't have the effect. When you want the effect, you just bang to the preset that has it, and when you want to turn it off, you just bang to the preset that doesn't have it. Downside though is that there is a slight gap in the sound when you switch presets. The other workaround is you can assign effect parameters to the expression pedal, and so on my Crunchy preset, I have the delay level assigned to the expression pedal so that when the expression pedal is turned down, it turns down the delay level to 0. And then as I increase the expression pedal, it then increases the delay level. What I really like about this pedal is that it has all the basic effects that you would need. It has amp modeling, and it has a stereo TRS output. You can run the unit completely direct. You don't even need to use an amp. I mean, it's small enough that you could put this in a backpack, or maybe even you could fit it like in a pocket in a gig bag. You could just carry it with you on a bus or on a bike. However, I think that like some of the amp models are kind of hit or miss. If you're going for like clean tones or just like light to medium overdrive, I think you're gonna be okay. But for high gain stuff, I just don't think that the high gain amp models sound that natural. Also, the cabinet simulators are a little funny to me. They all kind of have like a pretty dramatic EQ. So they give you 3 options. You can do dark, warm, or bright. Here's my crunchy tone. I was using the warm cabinet simulator. Here is the dark. And then bright. And then there's this really cool effect that they have. It's called pickup type. And so what they let you do is you can either do humbucker to single coil or single coil to humbucker. And it's like a conversion. So they kind of assume that you're using a certain pickup type on your guitar, and then it'll convert it to a different type of pickup. And so I was using the warm cabinet model just to get kind of the body and the like fullness of the tone. And then I use this humbucker to single coil conversion to brighten up the tone. Let me just turn it off so you can hear what it sounds like if I don't do this pickup type. And this is with it on. Just kind of I don't know, it was kind of a weird feature, but it works. I mean, it helps with the EQ. Now there's an effect on here that I really like that's kind of random, and it's the whammy effect. Now Digitech makes that whammy pedal, and they've incorporated some of those effects into this unit. And so you can do some weird things like this. You can do some weird interval stuff. You can go an octave up, an octave down, 2 octaves up or 2 octaves down. Those pitch effects alone like almost make me want to hang on to this pedal and just put it like, just route it into my signal chain. Just because those effects are so quirky and weird, it's like, I just want to have them available to me. I just want to be able to like do some weird whammy effects just in the middle of a set. I don't know, it just seems like it'd be really fun. So is the RP200 this budget secret weapon pedal? Well, kinda. It just kind of depends what you need. I mean, if you just want like the basic effects, you want something that's just simple and easy to use, I mean, I don't really see any reason why you couldn't like tour or like play like a giant festival stage with this pedal. I mean, you know, there's somebody out there just ripping with this thing, just ripping it up on stage, and like they're using this, and like nobody would know any different. Like, who is that? Who is that person? They're out there. I know they are. I mean, honestly, probably for most people, this pedal at best is like something that you jam at home with headphones, or it's like a backup pedal that you bring with gigs. But at the same time, I think that it like has some real functionality. And this is the thing, I'm picturing somebody who's gonna go to a music store. They're gonna buy this brand new, like highly sophisticated pedal board for like $1,000, and it's gonna have way more features than they're ever gonna need. And it's just gonna sit in their basement collecting dust because it's just too over their head, or it's too intimidating to ever like get around to actually figuring out how to use it. And it's like, if they were to see a video like this, they might realize that, hey, for less than like $100 American, I can buy the pedal that I actually need. You know, it has all the basic effects, it's really simple and easy to use, and like I would actually use that. And so I'm kind of making this video for that person. I'm also a huge troll, and I love the idea of showing up at a gig, and while all the other bands are setting up their vintage boutique amps and pedals, I just walk in, set my RP200 down, and like plug it into a DI box, and then proceed to play an entire show with just this and have nobody know the difference, and just like annoy all the other musicians that it actually worked. Like, that thought is like so irresistibly fun to me that like I just have to do it like at least once. So that's where I'm at with this pedal. If any of you have any advice for how to make this thing sound incredible, please, I'm all ears. Let me know, I want to hear. Anyways guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, see you later. I feel like this pedal is kind of like the youth group staple. It's like, you know, when you're like volunteer to be play in the youth group band, like in high school, and you're like, should I bring an amp or something? And they're like, no, like, we got you covered. Just bring your guitar. Then you show up and they're like, okay, you can plug in right here. And it's like this. And you're like dusting off the screen because they keep it in like the storage closet all year round.